Hey everybody, Steven here, playing Subnautica Below Zero and covering some updates today. I haven't gotten the new update still, so they've done a ton, but I'm going to break this down into two chunks. So when that next kind of wave comes with the updates, I'll actually cover that stuff too. There's a lot of cool, interesting things that I've seen on the Subnautica Changes Twitter account with that, but we'll just cover two things today. One has to do with the new icons when a journal entry from Robin pops up. Real subtle. The other one, everybody guessed it on the post that I did, which is the battery levels and the UI show up now, which is really, really cool, so you know where you're at. Other than that, it was a percentage when you would kind of scroll to that item, it would pop up for a second. But also made it frustrating that you wouldn't just immediately know where you were at with all of your gear. Subtle thing with the intro, seems like the lights on the strip here are new. Maybe not. Maybe it's on the old one. I just didn't notice. I also noticed more texture on the ceiling around the lights. Like I said, that probably was there. I just didn't notice it. But big thing we're going to look at today is an item around Marg's Base, actually. So you pick up a data drop there, but it also queues in, it's weird, it queues in journal entries from Marg, which I went back and rewatched the original Subnautica cinematic trailer talking about the main character and Marg and that character's dad. It was really, really interesting to see. I need to go back and actually look at all those entries on that game. Alright, so should pop up here in a second. Right there. So, personal log arrived. I'm hoping that's not the full deal there. Head from their satellite drop pod delayed. With Gusto, I have to find it and get settled, then I'll be able to get to work. If you left any traces, or I should say if Altera forgot to clean them up, I think that portion is new. I'll find them. I'll start with the selfie. Pretty sure I can see your base in the background. So I think there was just that little extra bit written into the intro dialogue from Robin here. But yeah, that icon, I'm hoping they clean that up. Same thing with, and actually we'll get this going. So you can see all the yellow kind of bars there indicating battery life. But you'll see it with any of the stuff that's scanned. I don't know, I'm hoping those pictures get updated a little bit. They look a little like low res. So we'll see, especially that one of Robin. That didn't look so great. Let's go to Marg's Base. Alright, so at Marg's Base, they have done more tinkering in here. Just some of the areas in terms of the rock and all of that kind of comes out. It's just a tighter squeeze in here. More roots, especially this big guy here, I've noticed they've added along the wall as well, and then it kind of tapers off down here. I think there's another one right there. That one's new, I believe. So yeah, it seems like they've added a little bit more in here. Like I said, it's just a tighter fit now too. But once we are here, we come down to this area right here. Let's ghost in.
Passing 100 meters. Oxygen efficiency decreased.
So yeah, we just have some supplies down here. You actually have the spy pangolin. Right, we can do a scan there, which means most likely either Sam's been here, or because Marg says later she doesn't like them, she took one. So we have a data chip. There we go. The greenhouse. Stalker attack. Marg looking worried. So I'm wondering if these are pictures, maybe, that the spy pangolin has taken. Don't know. I think they just changed that too, because I did have another, we'll just do NCL. Oops. Thing click in the last time I was playing with this. Maybe I had NCL and I didn't notice. But we actually have logs from Margaret here. Now we've had some of these, right? But it looks like these are all finished out. So you actually have 5 logs. And then these ones here. So I remember this first log. But I'm going to read through these really quick, and then we'll kind of finish the video out with this stuff here. So obviously spoilers for anybody that doesn't want to watch. You'll want to turn this off at this point. There I was, 500 meters below sea level, chunks of the sea base sinking around me. One hand flailed against the monster's scales, the other gripped the shard of metal I'd lodged in her eye socket. A reaper, wounded, maybe, but still deadly. I'd already taken out one eye. I damn near carved out the other. And then I saw where the creature had carried us. We were clear the caverns, headed for the void at the crater's edge. Blinded, she was spiraling deeper. I had a choice, hold on or let go. I figured the Torgals were already dead. If I let go of this monster, it had every reason to turn back around and finish me off. And I already had my blade in her head, so I held on, and she took us deeper. I had 1 minute of air in the tank. Back then I could go another 3 with what I had in my lungs, so I had 4 minutes to kill the Reaper, minus a few to get back to the surface. It ain't that I like killing folk. It's just sometimes when you need what you need is on the inside of someone else's ribcage. I ain't one to question when's when. So we fought. Neither one of us was gonna give up. Once she was dead, I made for the surface. When I caught my breath, I realized we'd come further out than I thought. No landmarks, no life, no seabed, just ocean. I was just out in the void, further than I'd ever been before, and the current was carrying me out to sea. That far out to sea, swimming back for land wasn't an option. All I could do was survive long enough to wash up somewhere. I had a knife, a repair tool, and 3 liters of water. Thirst and sea monsters weren't about to kill me, but if I kept fighting them, exhaustion might. I needed buoyancy. Just then I felt something brush against my foot. I looked down. There were vast jaws rising out of the water towards me. It had taken hours for the Reaper's corpse to float to the surface. Using the knife, I clambered up her flank and got a perch up on top. I figured she'd float for a few days at least, enough for me to catch my breath, but would sink before or after I died of thirst. I knew I could go more than a week on 3 liters of water. I also knew I'd be dead in less than 2. Now those Reapers, they're practically all muscle, but there's some fat in there. And I didn't have much, but I had that repair tool, so I had a spark. It took a week to light that first fire. I was able to keep warm and drink water, and I know more about the burning properties of Reaper fat than I ever cared to. A fortnight into the voyage, I was more or less living inside the creature's ribcage. It meant shelter, and it meant food. The flesh was starting to rot, but a moment's work with a knife saw to that. With only so much fat to burn, I had to ration the fires, but I could cook all I needed while they lasted. As time passed, I started to think on what I could do to steer the boat. That Reaper, she was built streamlined. I'll give her that. The currents tossed us every which way, but she held a steady bearing. Perhaps I could pull on her fins to change direction. It took me all day to rig up one lousy rope from the sun-dried intestines I had in plentiful supply, and one heartbeat for the rope to tighten around the fins and pull them clean away from the body. She was already decomposing. It wouldn't be long before we started to sink. I'm thinking there's more logs she's going to add. And like I said, some of these I remember already being in here. You guys may be screaming at me that these have all been in here but I don't remember that anytime I was looking through stuff using the console command NCL. I remember the first one. I don't remember these, but let me know in the comment section. Maybe I'm completely off base with this and it was in there the whole time. But we have that. Those are the big ones. Oops. Those are the big ones right now that I've seen in terms of the updates. A lot of these are bug fixes as well. The new one I'm waiting for hopefully comes out later today. We have another pass on the Glacial Basin, which I think they did a minor one, but when I went to go look for it, it was pretty subtle with what they did. And the only thing I kind of noticed was a little bit more work in this area outside of the frozen Leviathan, which I highlighted some of the work that they had done. It just looks like they've done just a little bit more, putting more the rocks and things like that on the ground here. So that's kind of it for right now, unfortunately. Hopefully I get that next update sometime today. That might be new right there, actually. I think they tweaked this right here too. And actually we have lights. So yeah, we got a couple things. I just didn't notice. I think I've said it before, but you end up looking at this stuff so much that at a certain point your eyes start like filtering some of it. Oh, they connected that too. So this passage, there we go, was there before. It seems like they've tweaked it, and we got stuff that they're propping up plants right now. Nice. Probably didn't notice some of the stuff too, just because it wasn't dark. But yeah, they've done a little bit of work in here. Can't remember if that's new or not. Another pathway out. So anyways, that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully I get that update here later today, and like I said, I'm going to update everything with that. That has a little bit more in it in terms of content and game and changes that they're going to actually be making with this. But let me know what you guys think of the new UI there with the battery life. I think that's pretty cool. And then that story stuff with Marg, like I said, I remember the first one, but if it's the other stuff's been in game, definitely let me know. And what do you guys think of the Glacial Basin as well? Because I think it's been making a lot of progress. It's looking better and better. I know a lot of people are still upset about the land portion of this, but I don't personally mind. I think it's a nice addition. But the gameplay has to be on point with it too. And right now we're just going off visuals, not necessarily much gameplay with it. So that is it for this video. If you like the video, hit the like button for me. If you want to continue to follow along with all of my content, hit the subscribe button for me. Thanks so much for watching.